Have you ever sat quietly at the end of the day, feeling the house around you grow still, and thought, maybe this isn't loneliness, maybe this is peace? If you have, you're not alone, and you're certainly not wrong. So often, we're told that life is only complete when we find someone else to share it with, that living alone is something to avoid, something sad. But what if I told you that living alone could be the most joyful, powerful, and fulfilling chapter of your life? Today, we're going to have an honest conversation, heart to heart, about why living alone, especially at this time in our lives, can actually beat any relationship, and not just by a little bit. I'm talking about a life that's richer, calmer, more creative, and more yours than ever before. Let's be real for a moment. Relationships, especially the kind that society pressures us into, often come with a lot of noise. Compromises about what to watch on TV, arguments about how to spend the holidays, quiet sacrifices we make without even realizing it, from the meals we eat to the dreams we put on the shelf. Over time, it chips away at the parts of ourselves we used to know so well. But when you live alone, every morning, when you open your eyes, that moment is yours. You decide what kind of day you're going to have. If you feel like sitting by the window sipping coffee for an hour, no one is rushing you along. If you feel like dancing in the kitchen to your favorite song, no one's there to raise an eyebrow. That remote control, it's all yours. That last piece of pie, yours too. And while these little things might seem small, they add up to something truly life-changing, the daily reminder that your life is fully, completely your own. More than just freedom over the TV or the dinner menu. Living alone gives you something much deeper. The chance to rediscover who you are when no one else is shaping your choices. You start hearing your own voice again, the one that might have gotten quieter over the years. You remember what excites you, what calms you, what truly matters. It's like reuniting with an old friend you hadn't seen in years, except that friend is you. It's easy to forget how much we mold ourselves to fit into someone else's world. What movie would they enjoy? Where would they prefer to go for dinner? Should I speak up about this, or let it slide to keep the peace? These aren't bad questions. Compromise is part of any relationship, but living alone frees you from constantly wondering if you're doing the right thing for someone else, because now the right thing is simply the thing that feels right to you. Some people might say, but don't you miss coming home to someone? Sure, there are moments when a little extra company might feel nice, but let me tell you something even sweeter. Coming home to peace. Walking through your front door and feeling an immediate sense of calm, knowing that the space around you reflects your spirit, your choices, and your energy. No tiptoeing around someone else's bad mood, no negotiating the thermostat settings, just pure, uncomplicated peace. And it's not just about the environment. Living alone strengthens something inside you that's far more valuable than shared holidays or a +1 at parties. It builds a deep, sturdy self-reliance. You start handling challenges head-on, whether it's fixing a leaky faucet or managing your finances. You discover you're stronger, smarter, and more capable than you ever gave yourself credit for. And that kind of confidence, it spills over into every part of your life. I've seen so many people, especially later in life, rush into relationships out of fear of loneliness, fear of judgment, fear of quiet Friday nights. But those Friday nights spent alone can become the most powerful, transformative moments of your life. That's when you realize you enjoy your own company. You find passions you didn't know you had. You build a life so rich and satisfying that the idea of needing someone to complete you starts to feel almost silly, because you're already whole. And let's not forget the incredible freedom that comes with managing your money on your own terms. No arguments about spending habits. No guilt trips about treating yourself to something special. You save for your dreams, invest in your passions, and build a future that's designed by you for you. It's not selfish, it's smart, it's wise, and it's deeply respectful to the person you are. You know, there's a myth that being alone means being lonely, But if you've ever laid next to someone and still felt unseen, unheard, or misunderstood, you know the truth. Loneliness isn't about being alone, it's about feeling disconnected, even in a crowded room. Living alone teaches you how to truly connect, first with yourself, and then with others in a way that's healthier, more genuine, and more fulfilling. Your career, your hobbies, your health, they all flourish when you live alone. Your time is yours to shape. You want to take up painting at midnight? Go ahead. Feel like volunteering on weekends? No one's waiting at home to guilt you out of it. You move at your own rhythm, at your own pace, following the currents of your own heart. And that, my friend, is a kind of wealth that no relationship can guarantee. And it's not just what you do that changes, it's who you become. Bit by bit, day by day, you grow into the strongest, most authentic version of yourself. You develop emotional intelligence by navigating your own feelings without leaning on someone else to fix them. You build resilience because you know that no matter what life throws your way, you have everything you need within you to handle it. You set boundaries firmly and respectfully because you finally understand your worth, and you're no longer willing to compromise it for anyone. Living alone doesn't make you less of anything. It makes you more confident, more creative, more in tune with the life you were meant to live. And speaking of life, let's talk about how living alone can transform not just your days, but your entire journey. How every morning can feel like a fresh canvas, waiting for you to paint it exactly the way you choose. When you wake up each morning, there's no need to rush, no need to shuffle your schedule to fit someone else's agenda. Your morning is exactly what you want it to be. Maybe it's a slow walk to the kitchen in your favorite slippers. Maybe it's sitting on the porch with a cup of tea, listening to the birds instead of worrying about meeting someone else's expectations. This space, this quiet, it isn't emptiness, it's breathing room. It's the kind of luxury that money can't buy. Creativity flourishes in that breathing room. Without distractions, without compromise, your ideas are free to bloom. Some of the greatest writers, painters, and musicians created their masterpieces alone, and it's no coincidence. In solitude, your mind opens up in ways you never thought possible. Maybe you'll finally start writing that story you've carried inside for years. Maybe you'll pick up that dusty guitar and find a song waiting in your fingers. The possibilities stretch out before you like a wide open road, and you hold the map. Even the simple things, like managing your finances, start to feel more empowering. Every dollar you save, every choice you make about where your money goes, it's yours alone. You don't have to explain your purchases to anyone. You don't have to compromise between your dreams and someone else's habits. You can be strategic. You can be generous when you want to be. You can prioritize what truly matters to you without friction or guilt. Think about travel. Remember when every trip had to be negotiated, when vacation plans had to fit around someone else's work schedule, preferences, or energy levels. Living alone means your passport is yours to stamp whenever and however you like. Solo travel opens doors you never even knew were there. You meet people you wouldn't have met otherwise. You take chances that a group or a partner might talk you out of. You wonder, and best of all, you grow. You're not waiting for someone to experience life with you. You're out there living it fully and fearlessly. Even the small, everyday joys take on new meaning. Rearranging your furniture at midnight just because you feel inspired, cooking breakfast for dinner because it sounds fun, painting your bedroom a vibrant color because it lifts your mood, without anyone questioning your choice. Your life becomes a canvas of spontaneous, authentic decisions. Every room in your home becomes an extension of you, your interests, your personality, your dreams, and the peace of your own space. No clutter that isn't yours, no noise you didn't invite. When you come home after a long day, the stillness that greets you isn't loneliness. It's a warm embrace, a reminder that you have created a sanctuary where you can heal, recharge, and simply be. Physical health flourishes too. You cook meals that nourish your body without compromise. You plan your workouts at your own pace, in your own way, without needing to sync with someone else's routine. You sleep soundly with no late-night arguments, no battles over the thermostat, no disrupted rhythms. Your body begins to trust you again, and you trust it. Even your relationship with technology changes. There are no passive-aggressive comments about phone use, no fights over screen time. Your digital life becomes your tool, not a source of friction. You read the articles that inspire you, follow the hobbies that excite you, and connect with communities that lift you up, all at your own pace. Your home becomes a reflection of your inner calm. Maybe you like a minimalist space with clean lines and open windows. Maybe you fill your rooms with cozy nooks, family photos, and colorful art. Whatever your style, it's yours to celebrate. And when you light a candle at night, or pour a glass of wine, or sit with a book you love, you're not filling a void, you're honoring your spirit. There's a kind of intimacy in living alone that few people talk about. It's not the kind you get from others. It's the intimacy of knowing yourself, knowing your thoughts without interruption, understanding your needs without apology, feeling comfortable in your own skin even when no one else is watching. That level of self-connection is rare and precious, and it's the foundation for everything else in your life. You also start seeing relationships of all kinds in a new light. You're no longer desperate for connection just for connection's sake. You're no longer settling. You understand that anyone who joins your life from here forward has to add joy, not steal your peace. You stop bending to fit someone else's mold, and instead you stand tall in your truth, inviting others to meet you there or not. Either way, you're whole. Holidays, once fraught with obligation or tension, become opportunities for pure celebration. You create your own tradition. Maybe Christmas morning becomes a quiet day of reflection and gratitude. Maybe New Year's Eve is a solo hike under the stars. There are no negotiations, no forced compromises. Every celebration feels lighter, freer, more genuine. And time, oh sweet time, becomes your greatest ally. You learn to use it wisely because you realize how precious it is. You invest it into hobbies, friendships, and adventures that light you up. You waste less of it trying to please others or patch over relationship cracks. You find yourself looking forward to each new day, not because of who might be in it, but because of what you get to experience, create, and savor. You start noticing that the little victories, fixing the faucet, planting a garden, mastering a new recipe, feel just as satisfying as any grand milestone. You become your own source of encouragement, your own loudest cheerleader, your own steady rock. And something else starts to happen too. You find yourself letting go of old fears, fear of judgment, fear of missing out, fear of what others might think. They all fall away like old leaves. In their place grows something sturdier, something stronger, the quiet, unshakable knowledge that you are enough, that you have always been enough. Living alone doesn't mean closing yourself off from the world. It means opening yourself up to your fullest, brightest self. It means learning to listen to your own voice so deeply that when the world gets noisy, you remain centered, grounded, unbothered. It means building a life so full of meaning, beauty, and adventure that anyone who comes along must be a complement to your life. Not a crutch, not a rescue, not a necessity. It means quite simply that you become the love you were looking for all along. As you move through this new chapter, something beautiful unfolds, a deeper appreciation for yourself, for the journey you've taken, and for the wisdom you've earned. You realize that living alone isn't an absence of love, it's the presence of self-love. And the more you nurture it, the more it shines in everything you do. When challenges come, as they always do, you no longer panic or search desperately for someone else to solve them. You meet them head-on. You trust your instincts. You know that you've survived tougher days before and that you'll find your way through again. This resilience becomes a quiet companion, walking beside you each day, reminding you of your own strength. And it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. As you start setting bigger goals, taking bolder steps. Maybe you decide it's time to pick up a new skill, start a little business from home, or write that book you've always talked about. With no one holding you back, no one sowing seeds of doubt, your dreams finally have room to breathe. You begin to see possibilities everywhere, and every small step forward feels like a celebration. Emotionally, you find that your heart grows even bigger, not smaller. You have more love to give to friends, to family, to neighbors, even to strangers, because you're no longer pouring from an empty cup. You're overflowing with the kind of kindness that comes from a place of true abundance. And when you choose to share your time or your heart, it's not out of fear or obligation, but out of genuine joy. Your friendships become richer too. They're built on shared respect and authentic connection, not just convenience or habit. You attract people who admire your independence, who see your light and want to add to it, not dim it. Conversations become more meaningful, time spent together more precious, and when you part ways at the end of the day, you return to your peaceful home with a full heart. You start noticing how little you need to feel content. A quiet afternoon reading a good book, a walk through the park with the crisp air in your lungs, a spontaneous day trip to a nearby town. None of these moments require anyone else to be meaningful. They are meaningful because you are present, because you are enough, just as you are. And when hard days come, and they will, you face them with a kind of calm you might not have known before. You're not afraid of sadness. You're not afraid of quiet. You allow yourself to feel what you feel, knowing that emotions are just visitors passing through, not storms that can tear you down. You've built your foundation too solid for that now. One of the greatest gifts of living alone is the clarity it brings. You no longer waste energy on confusion, on second-guessing yourself, on trying to read between the lines of someone else's moods. You know what you want, what you need, and what you deserve. And because you're no longer compromising your peace for the sake of being half of something, you live as a whole, undivided being. The physical space you create around you mirrors this inner clarity. Your home, however big or small, becomes a true reflection of your spirit. Every photograph on the wall, every cushion on the couch, every flower in the vase, they all tell your story. They all echo the life you are building with intention and love. Seasons come and go, and you notice how your traditions shift and evolve. Maybe in the spring, you plant a garden just for you, watching with wonder as it grows under your care. Maybe in the fall, you light candles early in the evening, filling your space with warmth and comfort. Holidays no longer bring pressure or heartache. They bring quiet gratitude, joyful reflection, and sometimes spontaneous adventures that you wouldn't trade for anything. You also become fiercely protective of your energy. You say no more easily, not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. You say yes with more excitement, because you know it's a true yes, not a forced one. Your boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They are invitations for the right people to come in and treat your space, your time, your heart, with the respect they deserve. You start to see your independence not as something you have to explain, but as something to be proud of. It's a badge of honor, earned through courage, patience, and deep personal growth. It doesn't mean you're closing the door on love, friendship, or connection. It means you are entering into all of those things from a place of strength, not need. And as time goes on, you realize that the person you have become, strong, wise, joyful, resilient, is exactly the kind of companion you were searching for all along. You don't just live alone, you live fully, you love deeply, you laugh loudly, you rest peacefully. There is a special kind of freedom that comes from choosing yourself, from standing tall in your truth, without apology. It's the freedom to create a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. It's the freedom to wake up each day excited to live the life you have built with your own two hands and your own courageous heart. Living alone doesn't mean missing out. It means stepping into abundance. It means opening the door to your best self and welcoming them home. And isn't that what we've been searching for all along? When you sit quietly at the end of the day, maybe with a soft blanket across your lap and a favorite song playing low in the background, you realize something powerful. You are not waiting anymore, not waiting for someone to make life exciting, not waiting for permission to chase your dreams, not waiting for company to validate your worth. You have already arrived at the place you were meant to be, living a life that is entirely your own. Every step you take now feels more certain. Every decision comes from a deeper knowing inside you. And when you look around your home, your sanctuary, you don't see emptiness. You see evidence of a life well lived. The chair by the window where you read in the mornings, the worn pages of books you've loved, the laughter that lingers in the air from phone calls with friends who lift you higher, the quiet moments of contentment when you realize that right here, right now, you have everything you two need. Sure, there might be moments when you think back to the days when life felt louder, busier, more tangled with the needs and wants of others, but those memories aren't painful anymore. They're simply chapters that lead you to this one, the chapter where you learned that peace, purpose and joy were never outside of you. They were always waiting inside, ready to bloom once you gave them the space. The beauty of living alone is that you finally understand how to be your own best friend. You know how to soothe your own worries, celebrate your own victories, and laugh at your own jokes. You don't feel awkward in your own company. You feel grateful for it. And when you do reach out to others for coffee, for a walk, for a chat, it comes from a place of fullness, not emptiness. You're not grasping for connection. You're offering your heart freely. The longer you walk this path, the more you realize how strong you've become. Strong in ways you can't always see, but you can feel in your patience, in your resilience, in your kindness towards yourself. You find that your dreams get a little bigger, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you finally believe you deserve to dream without limits. You might decide to redecorate your entire living room one weekend just because it makes you smile. You might start a garden, painting your world with the colors of blooming life. You might adopt a dog or a cat and laugh at how full your heart feels. You might take a class in something totally new, just for the thrill of learning again. All of it, every new adventure, every quiet evening, every fresh start, belongs to you. When the world tells you that you should be lonely, you gently smile and remember you're not lonely, you're alive. You're not incomplete, you're whole. You're not missing out, you're living fully, deeply, and unapologetically. And it's not about shutting the world out, it's about welcoming the right things in. Friendships that lift you up instead of weighing you down. Conversations that nourish instead of drain. Opportunities that excite rather than exhaust. Living alone sharpens your instincts. You recognize what's good for your soul, and you have the strength to walk away from what is. You find that your days are rich with little rituals that bring you joy. Your morning stretches, your evening walks, your weekend adventures, these small, steady joys form the rhythm of your life, and it's a beautiful song, one you chose. Every nook of your home reflects your growth, too. Maybe the walls are filled with art that speaks to your spirit. Maybe the kitchen smells of your favorite home-cooked meal. Maybe there's a cozy chair that cradles you perfectly as you read, write, or simply sit and dream. Every corner tells your story. Every object, every choice, every detail, all yours. And through it all, you realize that you've built a kind of wealth no one can ever take away, the wealth of independence, the wealth of self-knowledge, the wealth of a peaceful heart. You've created a life where you are the sun, not someone else's satellite. You are your own anchor, your own adventure. Living alone after 60 doesn't mean your best years are behind you. It means your truest, most radiant years are here and now. It means you get to wake up each morning with a sense of wonder, knowing that this day, this precious once-in-a-lifetime day, is yours to shape, yours to savor. You are not a half waiting for another half. You are a whole, walking boldly through a world that is richer because you are in it. Your smile lights up rooms. Your laughter echoes through your home. Your kindness ripples outward to everyone lucky enough to cross your path. So if anyone ever tells you that living alone is sad, smile kindly and know that you have chosen something rare, something courageous, something extraordinary. You have chosen to honor your own journey, to trust your own heart, to live life not as an echo of someone else's, but as the truest, most beautiful version of yourself. And remember, you are never really alone. You have yourself, your stories, your dreams, your passion. You have the sunsets you watch from your window, the songs you hum in the kitchen, the adventures you take simply because you can. This life, your life, is a masterpiece. Every ordinary day you fill with love. Every quiet evening you spend in peace. Every bold decision you make for yourself adds another stroke to the beautiful painting you are creating. And when you look back years from now, you'll see it clearly. You didn't just live alone, you lived brightly, you lived bravely, you lived fully, and that, my dear friend, is what truly matters. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message touched your heart, if it made you see your own life with fresh, hopeful eyes, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments, your journey, your joys, your lessons. Let's inspire each other to celebrate the incredible strength and beauty of living independently. And if you'd like more uplifting conversations like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here, a family of strong, wise, joyful souls, and you belong right here with us. Here's to you, to your journey, to your extraordinary life. Keep shining, keep believing, and most importantly, keep living fully, freely, and beautifully every single day.